Oh, okay, guys. So yeah, we'll start the Hangouts in a couple of minutes when everyone joins. So hold on for a while.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think so. I think it does.
You guys able to hear me?
Yes, Paritosh.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Is everybody here?
We are just waiting for Krishna Kumar and Lakshita.
Okay. Do you have the did you send me the link on email for the Hangout? Or
Yeah, dude. That's why you're here.
no. Because I got a notification. I'm joining in from my phone because I got a notification saying there's an incoming call.
Just to
So,
let you.
huh?
Okay, just yeah, dude. We are live.
No. I know we are live. What I'm trying to say is that if you can just send me a link on the email, I could probably join from my computer, which is more comfortable for me.
We just invited you from your Gmail, dude. Check. You should have got an email.
That's what I was doing when I got this call. Anyway, it's fine.
What is sitting? Yeah. Once you are, I will get up and you can say.
Hello?
Yeah, Krishna Kumar.
You guys can hear my voice properly, right? Clearly, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, cool. And okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep. One second. Oh, okay. I was thinking where my video went. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, it's better. That's cool now.
I just turned off the fan. Okay.
Yeah. So let's get started.
Do we start or we're waiting for?
I'm just waiting for Lakshita to.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone. So let me just introduce myself. So I'm Manoj. I'm the president of India Club at Georgia Tech. So on behalf of India Club, I welcome you all to Georgia Tech. So yeah. So let's just go around and introduce everyone.
Hi, I am Harshit. I am from CS department and I joined Georgia Tech last year.
Hi, I'm Dakshita. I'm the Vice President Marketing. I am a EC Master student.
Paritosh?
Yeah. Hey everyone. My name is Paritosh. I'm doing PhD in computational science from Georgia Tech. I joined Georgia Tech in 2015 fall as a PhD student, but I've been in Atlanta for more than that. I joined Georgia State as a master's student in 2013, so I've been in Atlanta for 4 years now.
Hey guys, first of all, congratulations for getting into Georgia Tech. I am Krishna Kumar. I am a second year master student. I joined exactly last year for fall 2016. I'm an ECE major. So yeah, congratulations again.
So just to complete my introduction, I'm a ECE PhD student. So I work with Professor Aklidis in the area of telecommunication. Yeah. So that's all. Welcome to Georgia Tech. So we have planned a series of events for you to get onboarded to Georgia Tech. So this will be I think the first of those events, and then we'll have the new grad orientation when you guys come onto campus, and yeah, we will also arrange for the temporary housing and the airport transportation, the details of which we'll share towards the end of the meeting. Is there anything else to add?
We'll have the grad orientation also. Just before it starts, and yeah, even those details we'll give out at the end of the Hangouts.
Yeah, so before we actually get started with the event, we have a couple of folks from GT Yasha, so they want to talk about GT Yasha. So here you go.
Hey guys, welcome to Georgia Tech and congratulations for getting selected to the graduate program here. My name is Sudarshan. I'm Manish. So I'm a first year graduate. I just finished my first year graduate studies in physics and I'm doing my PhD in gravitational physics.
Yeah, and I'm a third year PhD in bioengineering. Right. So let me just introduce Asha to you a bit. So Asha is an organization that is geared towards fundraising for charitable causes in India. So for Asha Atlanta, we actually support 4 chapters across India, some concentrated in West Bengal, some in Gujarat. But overall, Asha supports a lot of different chapters spread out in different parts of India. And ICGT has very graciously invited us to join this Hangout session. So we'll be working with them and helping you out so that you have a smooth transition into Georgia Tech. And I hope to see you all here very soon.
Yeah, so Anit essentially introduced you to what the organization is. I want to talk about some of the stuff that we do over here. The whole idea of ASHA for education is to support underprivileged women and children back in India. And in order to do that, you need to work with a lot of fundraising. Now, Atlanta has, ASHA Atlanta over the past 2 years has grown considerably. And essentially, to do fundraising, you need to organize fundraising events, for which you need volunteers. So throughout the year, we have around 5 to 6 fundraising events organized. Last year, I think we had 5. So they're essentially just game nights where Asha volunteers cook food, and there's board games or there's Diwali celebrations. Just recently we had Ugadi celebrations in April. Um, so that's one of the fundraising activities we do. Apart from that, a lot of Asha volunteers usually participate in the Publix Marathon that happens in March every year. And we typically start the cleaning activity by around September, October. So those of you who are interested in trying out that first ever marathon, or those who want to get into marathons here in Atlanta, this would be a nice opportunity. We provide training tips, and we meet every week on Saturdays or Sundays in the morning. And each runner that is running for the cause gets a personalized web page where they can upload their uh, information about themselves, and their page then gets a link wherein they can ask people to donate to the cause. So last year, I guess, we raised how many?
6,000 to 7,000.
6,000 to $7,000, and that's I don't know the exact numbers, but that's enough money to fund the education homes with around 20 to 25 students
per year.
So yeah, so that's basically us. I'm going to be taking the physics call today. So if anyone is doing or getting into the physics program this year, the call's at 10 p.m. today. So Harsh, Vardhan, I don't know if you're here.
Yeah, I'm in biology engineering. Indian students are really hard to find in the biology engineering program for some reason. But if there's anyone in biology engineering, feel free to contact me.
Yeah. Okay, so
We'll hand it over to you guys.
thanks, guys. Yeah, so probably Anish, you can put your details in the document so that they can contact you. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Anish. Don't you? Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's get started. So before we actually start, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how the session is going to work. So when you guys fill the form, I think we had some questions. So we start off with those questions first. In the meantime, you could ask some more questions in the YouTube live chat that you can find it on the site, and we'll try to answer them. And this is just the uh, so so this is the general Hangout session that we have planned, and this will be followed by the other department specific Hangout session. The, so I think we shared with you the link for the list of the contact people and the time where they will be contacting you. Yeah, so let's get started. So yeah, so the first question that we were one of the most important question that we was you guys asked about was getting a TA and a RA. So so to start with, that actually depends on your department. It varies a lot across each department. Say, for example, I know for a fact that it's very difficult to get a TA or a RA in ECE, while it's at least comparatively easy in CS. So I would recommend that you talk to your department uh, people about that, so you can have a fair idea. Because whatever we may say that might be wrong for you.
To add to that, it's not necessary that you need to apply for a RA in your department itself. You can get, let's say you are in EC, you can try to apply for RA shape in, let's say, bioinformatics or architecture or anything, because it might be possible that they need a person to develop a website or a small kind of project or something on the edge. So do keep an eye for the other departments as well. And as you said, it's true that it's really easy to get a RA shape or BA shape in computer science, but yeah, for other departments, you can always look out for other things as well.
Yeah. So yeah. So moving on, I think Krishna Kumar is going to explain you a lot more on the stuff that you should be doing at this point. Krishna Kumar, can you
Yeah.
go on?
Hey guys, so Around the same time last year, I was in the exact same situation that you guys are right now. So I assume most of you guys would have got your visas already. So congratulations on that as well. So I'm going to talk about what are the few important processes that I faced after getting my visa. That's like three main things that I'm going to cover today is are the insurance, number one, and the number two is the foreign exchange card, and also the banks and the way you can pay your tuition fees. So talking about insurance, as you guys know, Georgia Tech Student Blue Insurance is not a cheaper alternative at all. So it's pretty much on the costlier side. So some people prefer the Indian insurances rather than the uh, Georgia Tech insurance. So there are few very good insurance schemes which you can go through. I personally have been using the Reliance Gold insurance for the past 1 year. What are the pros and cons is what is important. If you're a kind of person who would like to visit a doctor once in a while, or if you have a history of doctor visits frequently, I strongly urge you guys to move ahead with the Georgia Tech insurance, because that is very useful. Because in the Stamps Health Center in Georgia Tech, you literally get everything done with the insurance, and you don't have to pay even a single dollar of your money. But if you take an Indian insurance, what are the pros? Number one is that it's very cheap. That's the only that's the only positive, if you ask me. Talking about cons, most of the Indian insurance schemes are recognized by the hospitals here, so they have a tie-up here, and using those tie-ups, they don't expect you to pay as such. So even before paying, you can check whether the insurance is being accepted by the hospital, and you can get your work done. But there are some cases where the Indian insurances won't be accepted by the hospitals, and those cases you have to pay from your money, and then you have to claim them. So that is one of the difficult parts of having an Indian insurance. My experience with Indian insurance so far is that I have never been to any doctors here for the past 1 year or so. So I have never had any doctor checkup. So taking an Indian insurance has been very helpful for me in terms of saving money. But yeah, again, so I urge you guys to research on the Indian insurance schemes, which might come in very handy. See the policies, and once you find that one particular Indian insurance is advantageous, what you have to do is that the Student Blue website of Georgia Tech, that is the official health insurance partner, Student Blue website has the list of policies which your Indian insurance has to comply with. Only if the Indian insurance has those things covered will they accept that Indian insurance. So what you have to do is that go to the website and see the list of policies, and see your Indian insurance whether you are covered for those set of policies. And once you feel that they are covered, avail the Indian insurance by paying money. And once you avail it, you have to send the policy document to the Student Blue website. In the Student Blue website, there is an option to request for waiver again. So you have to use that option to submit your Indian insurance, and after a few days they will go through the policies, and then if it is agreeable, they will. Dakshita, can you mute your mic? I assume that your profile picture is the video that people are seeing right now. So if you can mute your mic.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah. So again, yeah, so like I told, you can go ahead and request for waiver, and once that is done, you will be approved. One important thing to note is that you have to get the Indian insurance when you are in India. You cannot come here and then get an insurance there. For getting an Indian insurance, you have to be in India. Please note that point. So also make sure that it gets covered throughout your master's course, because if it covers only for say 2 semesters, for the third semesters, if you're not going to India, you have to take the Georgia Tech student insurance here again. And another important thing is that if you are funded with either a TA ship or an RA ship, it is mandatory to take a student. It is mandatory to take the Georgia Tech insurance. So if you have a funding, I think those processes will be done automatically. I'm not sure. You can ask Manoj for that. So that is one thing that I would like to say. So I think I've covered most of the queries with respect to insurance. So if you guys have more questions, you can feel free to shoot me a message in Facebook, or you can put it in the live chat here. The next thing that I wanted to cover is the foreign exchange card. So talking about foreign exchange card, again, it's a bit tricky here, because most of the students tend to get a loan. On that cases, I primarily use the foreign exchange card to pay the fees. Let me tell you how it works. So there are a couple of 2 or 3 websites like buy forex or get forex online .com, etc. So initially you might be very skeptical to take those take foreign exchange cards from them, because you might feel that they may not be secure, but I can vouch that they are very good, because a lot of people here have taken cards from them. So what is the advantage of getting a foreign exchange card from them is that you get the money exactly on the exchange rate. They don't take a dollar, they don't take a rupee of your money. So whatever is the exchange rate, the fund will be exactly put into your card for that exchange rate. That is very advantageous. So once you bring the exchange card here, you can use that card to in various stores and other grocery stores here. They are totally accepted. Number one. So in that way, you are paying for your groceries exactly on the exchange rate. That is one advantage. Number two, like I already told, I primarily use the foreign exchange card for paying my tuition fees. How that works is that there are 4 main banks here that people tend to choose from. One is Bank of America, which is pretty popular here. Number 2 is Wells Fargo. Number 3 is PNC, and number 4 is Chase. So most of the people do their banking with these 4 banks. So what I did was, on the very first day, on the very second day when I came here, we went and met we went and talked to each and every bank separately. So once you go and tell them that you are a new student and you would like to open an account, they will guide you through the process. So I strongly urge you to talk to a bank representative of all the 4 banks and see what is good for you. Because if you are over 23 or 22, Bank of America as well as Wells Fargo and Chase, I think they require for you to keep an average minimum balance or a direct deposit. So people who don't have funding and who are over 23 might not feel that affordable. So on those cases, they tend to take a PNC. So PNC is also a very popular bank here, and most of the people who are above 23 and who don't have funding tend to open a bank account in PNC. An advantage of PNC Bank is that it is right on the Tech Square. That's where most of you guys will be hanging out. So you will be heading to Tech Square at least once in 2 days. So you can get your banking pretty much quickly. Other than that, Bank of America is very popular, and as you all know, that Bank of America building is one of the tallest is the tallest in Atlanta. So they have their headquarters here. So the services that you get there are also pretty good. So from my experience, I've seen most of the people that I've seen have a bank account with BOFA, and some of them have with PNC, and very few of them have with Wells Fargo and Chase. So these are the options. And if you have a PNC, I'm not sure about how the other banking facilities work. Maybe they can tell you. But how PNC works is that if you have a foreign exchange card, there is something called cash advance that they do. How that works is that whatever money you have in that forex card will be exactly entirely transferred to your account. And even if you do a $10 transfer or $10,000 transfer, all they charge is like $1 or $2. It's not percentage wise, it's money wise, it's like $1 or $2. So what I did was I made my dad to put $15,000 in my forex card, and then I transferred them exactly entirely into my account using this. In this way, I paid my fees using on the exact exchange rate. So that is how forex cards work. And there are and like I already told, there are few websites which offer very good foreign exchange rates, and I strongly urge you guys to do your research on that and choose wisely. Number 2. And number 3, I've already covered the tuition fees and also the banks, the options you have. And regarding SIM cards, once you come here, if you have any friends or relatives here, please try and talk to them and ask if they have any family plans available. Because when you open a SIM card with a family plan, it tends to be a lot more cheaper than availing a SIM card generally. And there are also few virtual private networks like Ultra Mobile, which people tend to choose here because they are very very cheap. Number one. Number two, you get free Indian calls, so you can call all you want. So people tend to choose them as well. And with T-Mobile, you get very good offers if you have a family plan. T-Mobile is very cheap alternative. And another important thing about T-Mobile is that there's something called T-Mobile Tuesdays, where you get to have for example, say a free sub in a subway, or free $4 tickets, or once in a week, every Tuesdays you get such offers. So people tend to choose T-Mobile as well. So I think I've covered most of the important aspects. So if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to add in the YouTube live chat. And I do. And while other people talk about other things, I will just go through the live chat and see the questions on insurance and on forex cards, and I will come back to you once the rest of them are done with their agenda. So thank you again. So I will give the mic over to Manoj. Thanks.
Krishna, but there were some questions about what is the cost of the Indian insurance versus the Georgia Tech insurance. Do you have any idea how much you can save
Yeah,
or
yeah. So how it works is that let me. I'm going to quote it completely approximately. So don't take my words for granted. But how it works is that I assume I saved around almost 1 lakh or so in 2 semesters. 1 lakh, one to 1.5 lakhs or so in 2 semesters by taking an Indian insurance. So that is an approximate quote. I think it's like $600 to $700 for insurance, $700 for insurance in fall, and around 900 or something for summer and spring combined. But with Indian insurances, you get 1.5 years covered for like 30,000, 35,000 to 50,000 rupees. So in that way, you get to save like 1 lakh rupees or so. That was my estimate. So talking Siddharth, I see a question: which company plan offers free calls? It's called Ultra Mobile, and other virtual private networks also offer that. So I urge you again to do your research. So one thing that is that, but our advices that we give here are all with our experience. It gets better if you do your research, because there may be some operators that we don't know. So don't take our operators for granted immediately. So I urge you guys to do your research along with what we say here, and then choose wisely.
To
Yeah.
add to the plan thing, it's wise. I will suggest to go with TNT or sorry, T-Mobile or AT&T, considering the network signal cost. Because if you are going
Yes.
with
Yes.
any other options, like there are other options like I guess H2O, Oxygen, and means Ultra and whatever KKR said. The point here is you are actually making a decision over free calls versus the connectivity. So it's possible that if you go with other providers, you might not get connectivity all the places. Let's say your lab, your home, or any other place you are going. So try to rely on well-known providers here. But at the same time, in the well-known providers, let's say T-Mobile, they charge you, I guess, $6 extra or something in the plan, in a family plan or something, so that everyone can, each of you can avail unlimited call to at least India. I'm talking about. They do have provisions for all over the world. So those things you can actually check out on their website.
Yes, yes. So actually, I use T-Mobile, and like he told, for $5 in a family plan, you can connect to one particular number in India, to which you can do free Indian calls. That is there in
Yes,
T-Mobile.
that's free all over India, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing is, like he told, coverage. Regarding the coverage thing, I do agree that the virtual private networks don't have the best coverage, and people who had used them when they got their internships and they moved to like the West Coast, they have changed to switch to T-Mobile again. So yeah, even I would personally suggest you guys to go ahead with T-Mobile or AT&T. But yeah, those things, you have the options with the other virtual private networks as well. So yeah.
Yeah. And there was a question on like is the Georgia Tech insurance mandatory if we get a TNRA? Yes, it is mandatory, and but your insurance will be subsidized a lot, so it will not be the same as what others pay for your insurance. It will be like very less, I guess. I don't have a number as such, but it's pretty less compared to what others pay.
Yeah, so I will actually.
I think it's around $300 for fall. I think
Yeah, so once you get a
three
TA
to
or
three
RA,
hundred dollars for fall for the insurance. If you're having an RA, if you're a PhD student and you have an RA, I think.
Yeah.
yeah, so if you get a TA or RA, you usually your tuition will be waived off, and you have to pay a mandatory fees. So mandatory fees can be something like 1300 or so, 1300 or 1400, and that will cover your things like transportation fees, CRC fees, your insurance, and all those things. And you always have an option. So when you are getting a TA or RA shift, you will be getting a monthly stipend. So you always have an option of getting that mandatory fees deducted from the monthly stipend that you are getting, or you pay that in upfront. So if you pay that in upfront, so your monthly stipend, let's say $1,000, you will be getting those thousand since you are paying it in upfront. But if you are asking for a deduction, then that might reduce to 800 per month or so. So that's all you can find it on Bursar when you are actually not sorry on Oscar.
No, no. Yeah. So to add to that, As far as fees and the insurance specifically is concerned, you can log into, you can take a look at bursar.gartech.edu. Maybe I'll put I'll put the link. It's a PDF file about the fees and all that, and it also has details about the mandatory health insurance. So here it says that if you are on a GRA GTA, the mandatory student plan for fall 2017 is around $232, and for spring it is around $325. So when you take the insurance for spring from Georgia Tech, what it says that it also covers the summer part also. So you can, it's just like one shot. So they want to ensure that you have coverage throughout the year. So that's the reason it's a little bit higher. But this is something that you guys can take a look at. I'm not sure if you've already looked at this, but still, I'll just put this link across. Okay.
So, hi. So there are two questions that I would like to answer here. One is Kanda had asked if my Indian insurance is cashless or I have to reimburse. Number one thing is that along with your policy, the website of your Indian insurance will have the list of hospitals and list of chains of hospitals which have tie up with your Indian insurance in which it is completely cashless. Other than that, if there is a particular hospital you are visiting and they don't accept your Indian insurance, you have to pay out of your cash, and then you have to get it reimbursed. So that is one thing. Another thing is how to inform the authorities that if you are taking an Indian insurance. Like I already told, there is a website called Student Blue Georgia Tech of Georgia Tech. You just have to Google it. That is where you have to pay your. That is where you have to request avail your insurance, or that is where you have to request for a waiver. So if for requesting a waiver, like I already told, you have to take the avail the policy and then submit the policy and request for the waiver. After a few days, you will get a response back whether it is approved or not. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll post the link in a while. So yeah. So let's move on to the next things.
Yeah. Before we begin answering other questions, just to let you guys know, India Club will be organizing the temporary housing thing and airport pickup, and we will be sharing those details in the end of the session, so that almost every other person will be joined with by that time, and those questions will be cleared. In the meantime, you guys can feel free to ask questions on the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was one more thing which I wanted to talk about, which has become which was an issue lately, is like there were some travel restrictions if you are traveling through the Middle East. So if you're taking Qatar or Emirates, I think they don't allow laptops as a carry-on baggage when you travel from the Middle East to US. So I think you'll be required to check in the laptop. So before you a week or so before you actually fly, please call your the call your airlines and make sure that what are the restrictions that are in place when you're flying.
To add to the airline thing, please note a few of the airlines on F1 visa allow 3 bags, and I guess 1 or 2 will not allow 3 bags thing. So do check that thing. So you will have a total of 3 bags, each of 23 kg. That will be really helpful.
Yeah, and I think some of the airlines actually want you to call them, and then only they'll give you the extra baggage. So if you don't, by default they'll give you just 2, and if you call them and ask, hey, I'm a student, so so do you have any offer for that, and then only they'll give you an extra baggage allowance. So make sure that you do that.
It's only for the F1 visa, please note. So if any American one Indian is there, it will not be valid for you guys.
I see a question about the wire transfer. I think if you're taking a loan, then some of the banks will make it mandatory for you to wire transfer the fees. Otherwise, I don't know if you're not on a loan how it works, but if you're on a loan, they would want you to wire transfer.
I would come in here. The thing, like she told, if you have a loan, most of them require you to do a wire transfer from directly. And if you don't have a loan, like I said, you can transfer it. You can use your forex card sometimes. Like I told already, I'm not sure how forex cards work with Bank of America. That is one thing, you can use them. Number two, you can do uh, if you're anywhere doing a wire transfer to your account here from India, you might as well do it directly to Georgia Tech, your fees alone. So that is also there. But yeah, I would recommend you guys to see how you guys can reduce the exchange rate by which you pay the fees, because if even if the exchange rates are if that they offer a slightly higher than the actual and you are trying to pay the fees, you might end up losing a lot of money. So do your research on that again.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a question on whether TA and RA is counted for the to complete is counted for graduation to complete 30 credit hours. So the answer is no. So if you get a TA or an RA, you can register for TA or RA hours, and but that won't count towards your degree. But that will count towards the semester credit requirements. Say to become a full-time student, you are required to register for at least 12 credits. So you can take those. So the TA and RA hours can count as a part of those three or whichever you choose. Credit hours can count towards the full-time requirement of 12, but they will not count towards your degree requirement. Yeah. So, but I think there is what you can do is if you get a TA, I don't think we can do. There's anything you can do about that. But if you get a RA, one thing that you can do is you can register the RA as a special problem or as a master's thesis hours. In which case you can make it count. So you'll be registered for more than 12 credit hours in that case, and you can make those credit hours, the RA credit hours count. But TA, you can't really do anything about it. Yeah. So yeah. So anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, you can put it in the live chat so that we can address it. Or if you don't have any questions right away, but you end up getting a lot of doubts after that, you can feel free to contact the ICGT, any of us, or the ICGT email ID as such. And there is one question that Tanushri is asking about TNRA. I think Manoj can answer that.
As a TARA, there a fee waiver for the semester. Yeah. So you get a so if you don't have a TA or a RA, I think you have to pay around 15,000 per semester. And if you get a TA or an RA, you have to most of the fees reduced, but you have to pay some fees like the subsidized student insurance, some facility fee, I guess, the student activities fee, the mandatory fees. So all that will come to about $1,500 per semester, I guess.
Or less.
Yeah, a little bit less than that.
So in short, if you are a TA or RA, your tuition will be waived off, but you have to pay a mandatory fees, which is like 1,500 or less, and you will get a monthly stipend.
Yeah.
If we opt for thesis option, does the thesis credit are counted towards our specialization or the separate? Masters people can answer.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about how it counts. Actually, that will depend on the department, I guess.
I don't know. Means masters people.
I think you guys can address this in the department specific Hangout sessions, number one. Number two, another thing is if you want to remain in the waiting list for a particular course even after the registration window closes, how this works is that with most of the courses, even if you are in the waiting list, the professors will urge you to come on the first day and attend the class. So keep attending the class till the window closes, but tell your professor on the very first day that you are in the, or even before attending the class, you can email your professor telling that you are in the waiting list. So most of the professors are considerate. If they have the flexibility to extend the class strength by a certain number, they do increase, and you will have a very good chance of getting the course. So attend the classes regardless of whether you are in the waiting list or not, number one. Number two is that some of the courses tend to get very, very crowded. For like machine learning in CS, people go to like a waiting list 180 and 170 and so on. So on such cases, if you are in the waiting list, it might not help. My friends and my experience haven't helped me much when the waiting list is very, very high for a particular course. But but for EC courses and for other courses, or for any courses, as a matter of fact, attend the first few classes till the window closes and talk to the professor and see if he has the flexibility to increase the strength. And if he can, he will, and you will get the course.
Usually you guys.
Yeah, usually,
Yeah, like,
usually they, if you talk to the professors and tell them that you're really interested, they do try to accommodate you in the class. So as KKR told, attend the class and tell the professor that you're really interested and you really want the course, then they'll surely make sure that you'll get into the class. But it's very rare that that happens.
yeah, in
You
most
will get the
cases, you will
courses.
be actually able to get into the class until unless it's like machine learning or very specific courses which you can actually get to know from the seniors, because those courses will always be overflown and there will be a issue with the wait list. But in most of the other cases, people usually are able to get the courses, because what happens is a student usually register for more than one course. Means, let's say they want to go for 4 courses, they will register for 6 courses because they are not sure which all they want to attend. And thereafter, during the drop time period, they will actually take back the extra courses that they have registered, and that time you can easily get it. So don't worry about the course registration that much. Once you are here, everything will be worked out.
Yeah, so I think maybe we can just go over the timing for the course registration. So in Georgia Tech, the course registration works a little bit in a different way. So we have two phases. Phase one will be in the middle of the previous semester. Say the phase one for the fall was in the middle of the spring semester. And so since you guys were not a registered Georgia Tech student, you didn't get an opportunity to register for the course during phase one. So now we have only phase two, which will be, I think, 1 week before the class starts till 1 week after the class ends, right? Yeah. So during this time, you can actually, this is the chance where you'll get to register for the courses. So in this window, you can register for any number of courses. So I think there is a limit on that. You can register up to 21 courses. So yeah,
Up to 21 credits.
credit hours. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you can choose to register for more than 12 credit hours, and you can drop within this week. Well, if you drop within this week, then it won't be a part of your uh, grade book. So if there is also an option to drop after this until the middle of the semester, I guess. I think you can find the calendar for the exact dates. But if you drop with that, it will come as a W grade on your grade sheet. So, and also, I think if you want to drop in the middle of the semester, I think you have to be very careful about that, because since you are an international student, you have to take have 12 credits to be a full-time Georgia Tech student. So if you have only 4 courses, which will come up to 12 credits, and if you want to drop a course, then your registration status will go below 12, and I'm not sure what will happen then. So probably you might be asked to leave US or something like that. So that becomes tricky. So I recommend that you don't drop a course after the first week.
So there is a question that, hey, is it okay to take 5 or 6 courses and drop a course later? Yeah, definitely it's fine. And till the time that they means you have a limit of 21 credits, as Manoj was saying, you can take as many courses as possible. And once you go and attend the classes and you decide that, okay, I don't want to attend few of those, then during the drop window, you can actually drop it down.
No,
So
actually,
make sure that you adhere to 12 credit hours thing. That's mandatory. Else you will be facing some issues here,
yeah,
because you need to have 12 credit hours.
there's something that I would like to add here. There are two different deadlines. There's first one is the registration deadline, which is in the first week. Like Manoj told, you can take up to 21 credits till the first registration deadline week. That's the first week of the classes start. Till then, you can have 7 courses, or how much till 7 courses in your list. But after the registration deadline, you have to drop the courses that you would like to be dropped, because once after the registration deadline, if you still have 7 courses, that means that you are having 7 courses in your list. So first deadline is the registration deadline. Till that, you can have up to 21 credits. After that, you have to reduce and have only the 4 courses, or 4 or 5, or whatever courses that are deemed important. And there is a drop deadline, which is in the middle of the semester, by which you can drop the courses that you don't want to attend. But you have to make sure that maintain your full-time status.
Yeah, so I think there's a question on the whole. So I think as an incoming international student, you'll have some hold. So the things that I can remember on top of my head are like, I think you'll have a hold from OEE, where they have to make sure that you are physically present in the US. So that will be one hold. I think there will be a hold that you are the hold that will be removed when you when you submit your medical documents and all the immunization forms? Are there any other holds?
I guess these two are, and so I don't think so. Any of you guys will be.
No,
There is a hold on.
I think
There's
one
a
on
for
you have to
transcripts
do
also you
international.
have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what. So you need to do an international students check-in.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
what.
one hold.
So you guys
So
will
then you have
actually.
to submit your transcripts. That is the other hold.
Transcripts. I think
Then you have to
transcripts you
submit
can do.
The
immunization.
holds are the
I mean,
medical
transcripts, I
hold.
think they look at it case by case basis. It sometimes, they're okay to put a conditional, they're okay to remove the hold conditionally, provided you tell them that I'll get the transcript by the end of the semester or something like that. That's what happened with me. I
Yeah,
didn't have
even
my transcript with me at that point of time. So I told them that, okay, by the end of the semester, like somebody will be going to India and getting it for me. So that's what they said. Okay, fine. You can show up like somewhere in January or February and show us the transcript, and that's fine. So they removed the hold conditionally based on that. Even for immunization, so they have to make sure that you have all the immunization, and provided you tell them that I have taken an appointment for getting immunized at stamps or somewhere else, and I'll be getting it done as soon as possible, then they'll remove the hold. But it's important for you to follow up on these things. That is, I think, very important. Nobody will be there to follow up for you, in the sense nobody will be contacting you and asking you whether uh, you know where what happened, like whether you should come and all that. You have to follow up with respect to all these dates. You have to go to stamps. You have to go to the registrar's office and talk to them about these things, and that is when these holds will be removed. As far as international student check-in is concerned, it's a very straightforward process. You show up with all your documents, your passport, I-20, and all those things, and they'll make a copy of those and keep it for their records, and they'll say that, okay, you've checked in, and they'll remove that hold. So I think, unless I'm missing something else, I think this is what comes to mind.
So to summarize, the transcript thing, if you have an official transcript, you can even scan and mail or something, and they will be, I guess, okay. If they are not, you can come and show them here. Regarding your immunization thing, most of you guys will be actually doing the immunization, I think, from India. So please ensure that before coming here, you have uploaded your immunization documents on the website, and that hold will be removed. The third one is the OIE one. That will not be removed until unless you are here. So every one of you will be actually on a registration hold because of that. But once you are here, so the day you come here, you can actually done this immunization. This OI thing done, the account setup, and all those things can be done in a day. So it will not take more than max to max 2 days to do all these things. So this is how you can plan. And the very first thing you should always do is that OI check-in. So your registration thing goes, the hold removes, and you will get a time ticket also by an email, where you will given a time period that, okay, this is the time period when you can start registration. So I will suggest that before that your registration hold should be actually be removed.
I want to add a few more things to this, specifically to students who are coming in for a PhD, or students who already had funding extended to them from Georgia Tech. One critical piece of document that you need will be the SSN. So when you come here and when you do, so the whatever we spoke about like before this applies to you as well. So once you're done with all this, there will be one particular date that you will be given where you have to show up, and they'll do your paperwork. So you have to sign a bunch of documents with Georgia Tech saying that what research you do at Georgia Tech is the property of Georgia Tech, and so on and so forth. Once you do that, there will be a representative from the Social Service Administration present there. So you have to show up with your passport and I-20 and I-94, and maybe just show it to them, and then they'll make a copy, and you have to fill out the Social Security Administration form, and you might get your Social Security number within like a month. If you don't do that, then you have to go on your own to the civic center that is there, like I think a mile away from campus, and then take an appointment there and do the whole process yourself. So be on top of that. Try to find out when that is happening. Usually it is bundled with the normal orientation days. So this will be, so usually it is before classes start. The week before classes start, you will have all these events, but do make sure that you go to that, because that is very critical for you to get paid if you're getting funding. And also so since you will not have your social security number by the time of your first paycheck,
Yeah.
they will give you a paper check in the beginning. In the beginning, that is for August or September, you will get paid with a paper check. And after that, from October, you can set up direct deposit to your bank account, and it will get credited every month, the last working day of every month. So there's just, so those people who have funding, please make
There is
sure
a
that
question
you
about
do
the
do
SSN
these things.
for opening a bank account. No, you will not require to have an SSN for the time being. At least with Wells Fargo, I opened my account without SSN.
So for opening a bank account, you do not require an SSN of any. So you don't require any type of tax or social security number or ITIN or anything. The only thing is Georgia Tech requires SSN for you to pay you for your TA or RA or whatever it is. So for that, they will pay with a paper check in the first for the first time, because they don't have your SSN on file. Right.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question. So
Yeah,
basically, about the extent, it applies only for if you are getting funded by Georgia Tech. So if you're not, you need not worry about anything for that right now, and you will not be applying for SSN until you get a job of any sorts, like a part-time job in Georgia Tech. Or
if you don't have TARA, then yes, then that is
so
what it is. Yeah.
And there was a question regarding the immunization thing. If you have any pending immunization when you come here, if you have started your immunizations only 1 month or so before coming here, there is a good chance that the last shot of a particular vaccine or immunization is pending. So you can send in a request to the Georgia Tech Health Center telling the situation, and they will agree or you can mention the predicted date. For example, if in the month of December your last shot is pending, you can mention that in your immunization form along with the bracket telling pending. And if you do that, they will accept, and the registration hold will still be removed. And after coming here, you will have to take those shots on those particular dates here in the health center. And there was also a question regarding when the fall semester ends. It ends on December 15th, Friday, if I'm not wrong, and the next spring semester starts by January 7th or 5th. So you get a window of around 20 days. So if you want, you can go ahead and book your tickets to India. So a lot of people, a few people that I know went to India during the fall break after coming, during the winter break after coming last fall. So that option is good as well.
To add to that, to add to the end of the fall date, it's usually also depends on the 15th is the deadline that, yeah, definitely it will be over. But if let's say your course is saying that they will be done with the exam on 10th, then it is possible that for you, the break start from 10th. So if you are booking the tickets, yeah, 15 is the deadline that you can look for. But I will suggest come here, and then you can actually, after a week, you will realize that, okay, because usually the professor will give a timetable of when will be the midterms as well as the end sem. So once you have seen all the courses, you can take a call that, okay, by 10th, 12th or 15th, what date your fall break will be starting.
There's a question about visa delay. I think if you contact the administration, they do have a provision to defer it to the next sem, but it might depend on departments.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they actually refer to next semester or not, because I think some courses have their timelines tied to, say, they have only for fall, spring, and fall. But you can definitely talk to your department and ask for, like, whether it's you can definitely defer it to the either next semester or next year. Yeah, I personally know a few people who actually defer the admission for the next year, so I'm sure they do. Yeah. And also there are some questions on the.
There's a question on bus card for a student account. I think you need to take a bus card for if you want to create a student account in the Wells Fargo or Wells Fargo PNC, the banks that are on campus. So that they'll give you a student account, and you'll have a full.
It's recommended that you get the bus card and the void checking done first, and then do all these things of bank and all. Because anytime you want to show the proof, you can always show I-20 and bus card as the proof that you are a part of Georgia Tech. So that's the reason you should go for I bus card first before.
Yeah, I think that there are a few questions on the registration. So how registration works is, yes, you can do it completely online, but since you're a new student, there will be holds for you. So you won't be able to do it from India before you come here. So as you said, like there are some holds which will be removed only when you are physically present here. So for the OAE office, you have to go there and submit some of the documents. And I think they also ask you for the I-94, which will be issued only when you arrive in US. So you need these documents to get those holds removed. Say, but you don't actually need to be present in US or Atlanta for that matter to actually register for the classes. You can do it from anywhere, but make sure that you remove these holds.
Yeah, once the holds are removed, you can do anything from any other place. So that won't be a problem.
There was a question regarding taking courses from multiple majors. It all depends on the flexibility of your department again. So talk to your seniors in the department Hangout session. ECE, for example, gives you a flexibility to take up to 4 courses outside ECE. So but it has to be a relevant field like CS, or some people take management courses. And if you want to go into a complete random major, you will have a major restriction. For that, you will have to get approval from the major that you are going to, as well as EC department, to get that hole removed. So that way you can diversify your major. But yeah, it all depends on your major ultimately. So I'll ask your seniors about it.
Yeah, okay. So there is a question: how many subjects student take in a first semester?
Yes, masters should tell that. That would be easier. KKR,
I think you have to, but minimum you have to take 4 courses to be a full-time student. But you can take more than 4 also. In the first time, it's advised that you take 4 courses since you'll still be getting used to the the atmosphere and the college and all that. But you can take more than 4 courses as well.
There are people who have taken 5 courses in each department, and there are people who have done. But there are people who have done 5 courses along with one audit as well. So it all depends on your capability. But like Akshita told, I will strongly urge you guys to take only 4 courses in the first semester, because that gives you a bandwidth to experience yourself, get the field experience, and also see what is best suited for you in the first semester, so that you can take the next semester courses accordingly.
yeah, guys. So
yeah, usually first semester you take courses which you'll kind of keep experimenting. So it's better you take 4 courses, and from the next semester you know what exactly to take.
Question regarding the CS course in spring semester. The thing is that even for us seniors, we cannot register for CS courses right away. So there is something called, you will get the CS major restriction. So that restriction will be removed by the CS department after all the CS students have registered for the courses. For example, if there are for 50 or 60 incoming CS students for this fall, even I won't be able to take the CS course. That me being an EC major won't be able to take the CS courses until you guys register for it. So there is something called the CS major restriction, which will be removed after CS students have registered. That will happen during the second phase. So till then, you won't be able to register for the CS courses. Yes.
to continue on the number of courses thing, it's usually you look it into form of number, instead of number of courses, you look it into the form of number of credits. You need to complete 12 credit hours as a student here in US. So it can be possible that you take 2 courses, but and 2 courses comprise of, let's say, 8 credits, but the next 4 credits you can fill it up with, let's say, RA shape. That RA shape in terms of as Manoj said, was special problems. So those things you can actually figure it out. I will recommend that take it slow. Don't rush that you want to complete your masters in a year or so. You can take it year and a half or 2 years. So based on that, how you think that it will be planned for you, to decide that. But at least on the for the first semester, don't try to overburden yourself, because you will be getting you will be looking into many new things, and that might affect your performance in the courses. So just ensure that the credit hours are 12, and whichever way it's getting completed by taking 3 courses, and special problems by completing 4 courses, whichever works for you guys.
Yeah, and guys who have put forth question, I think we have covered most of the questions so far. But if you feel that your questions have not been answered due to the multiple messages, feel free to post the question again so that we can address it right away.
Uh, so there is some question about what if it's a multidisciplinary program. So it's a robotics PhD with like but CS biomedic also on that. So do you guys have any thought?
Yeah, if it's a multidisciplinary program, so I am in a multidisciplinary program right now. I'm doing a PhD in computational science, but my home unit is industrial engineering. It was quite a bit of a work to register for courses either way. Industrial engineering was fine. My home unit was industrial engineering, so I could register for IE courses right off the bat, but it took some time to find out how to register for the CSE courses because CSE was showing up as a major restriction. So what I would suggest is that when you come here, please go and talk to your advisor. You have to find out who your advisor is, and then that person will be able to help you figure out how you can register for courses. The main bottleneck is the major restriction. If you don't have major restriction, and you can register for that course, then you can just go ahead and register for it and you don't have to worry about anything else. But sometimes you need to take some steps on your own to make sure that you can register for courses. So it all depends on which home unit you are in. So if you are in one particular home unit, and you have courses which are being offered by the other unit that you are a part of, then you might need to do some follow up on your own. But apart from that, there shouldn't be any problem.
And
There is a
there is a
question
there's a
about
question, Main
but
Street and safety, right?
Yeah,
industry.
apartment
Okay, yeah,
area.
Yeah.
yeah. I think
So
uh,
I lived in M Street. So if I can, yeah, M Street is pretty safe. It's pretty very close to the campus. And in general, the Mariada Street stretches is has been very safe for the past 1 year that I have been here. I have not seen case or incidences. It's pretty happening because right now there is a recently just before I came, they started a bar in the opposite M Street, because of which the street is very happening in the nights. So because of that, it tends to it is it's pretty safe. M Street as an apartment is very good because it gives you a home feeling, because it's very spread out. You get a lot of free space. So in that way, it is very good. The proximity to the campus is also very good. One thing that I found very difficult was that you have to for getting your groceries, you have to either take a green route shuttle or tech trolley to go to the Atlantic station or the Midtown, and then get your groceries. But that becomes easier after 6 o'clock, because Georgia Tech car shuttle service is called Stingeret, and Stingeret stops right outside M Street in night. So if you are a kind of person who will be staying late in the campus, M Street is one of the best choices, because any place you want in the campus, you can get into Stingray and they will drop you right outside M Street. So that is one of the very good advantages of being in M Street. In general, the areas in and around Georgia Tech has been very safe over the past 1 year. There are one or two areas which have seen few incidences, but I think grad welcome packet that Dakshita posted earlier today gives you a detailed outline about each and every apartment and areas. You guys can go ahead and read that, and there are also a few contacts mentioned for each apartment in each area, so you guys can directly contact the senior and get to know about your apartment and areas better.
Yeah, to elaborate on the housing thing. Usually, people, you guys can have M Street or the 16th or the 14th Street. Usually, it's not recommended to go in the home park area. If you see the Georgia Tech map, you can actually see it's it's next to GLC area. You can see a graduate living center, and apart from that, usually all other areas will be actually safe. But how I will recommend you is wherever you are planning to take, you can actually from the Google Maps you can see how far Publix or Target is there from your place, because usually you will be getting groceries from Publix or Target. And this is one of the things. Second thing is, as KKR mentioned, Stingray is really a helpful service. You can find the map of Stingray, that from where which all area it covers. That will be helpful for you to book a Stingray from one place to another in campus as well, say M Street to Midtown. Apart from that, there was another question here regarding, yeah,
yeah.
electricity and water. It depends on the place you are actually going for. let's say if you are going on a place like flats which is on 16th or local or exchange or I guess even in M Street, those things you need not have to take care because it's kind of
actually,
Actually, exchange you have to for
electricity.
exchange.
Yeah, so the problem is, I think,
that happens. We need not have
Electricity.
to
No,
already.
Electricity you have to. Electricity you have to register with the Georgia Power. They have an online website. You have to just register there and put your apartment details.
if you're going, so to sum up things, so if you're going for an apartment like the Exchange M Street, uh, on things like that, where you take the whole apartment for you, and then you say four of you or two of you share, then you have to register for electricity. At least for exchange, I'm sure I did not register for water, but the water bill comes with my the rent. But if you're going for some
A place like flats
flats,
will not ask you. Yeah, you just need to pay the rent and everything will be covered. It's like they might.
I think the U house and the SQ on 5 also comes into that category where you don't pay for electricity and water separately. So all that is included in your monthly rental.
Yeah, one more thing about moving into the apartment that just came to mind, because this happened last year with some students, and I just want to make sure that this doesn't happen. I mean, it's kind of an inconvenience. So when you might be landing in Atlanta, sometime maybe in the night, and let's say you've already spoken to exchange or any other apartment community, and they've said that okay, fine, everything is set, you can move in on this day, but you might be moving in after the leasing office closes. Please try to contact someone in this apartment community and have the keys ready so that you can just move into your apartment without having to spend the night in someone else's place. I mean, not that it's a problem, but it's just a minor, because a lot of people didn't know about this. They showed up and they found out that the leasing office is closed and they were trying to find out what to do. So just a heads up that please make sure that you you have someone there who has taken your keys, that who can give you the keys to move you in.
So there is a question regarding the average time that then a master student take to complete department. Me being an ECA major can tell you that most of the people tend to complete in 3 semesters. That's like if you come here next December, you can graduate. And there are people who make it 2 for master's degree. Generally, people who are doing a co-op for 6 months, which includes summer and fall, tend to stay till for 2 years, or people who do theses. And in very, very, very rare cases, there are people who complete in 1 year, which I strongly recommend you not to do. Because people there was one particular student who finished her masters in 2 semesters. That is also one option, but that is like very rare, and I strongly urge you guys not to do. And there was also a question regarding sorry, you guys can go ahead. Yeah, I'll just.
There's a question on special problems.
Yeah, Lakshita will tell you.
Special problem is where you get a chance to work with the professor. So if the professor is doing some research or anything like that, you'll get to do some bit of the project and contribute something to that. It depends on whether the professor will agree or not. You'll have to keep mailing them and tell them your interest, and if they agree, you can take that as a course. But usually it's, if you're interested in doing research, that helps. If you're like interested in just completing your masters, I don't know how far that will help, because you'll just be helping the professor for a short term, like only 1 semester. That might not really add to your knowledge. But if you want to take up research in future, that will surely help. And that is also used as a prerequisite if you want to continue working with the professor to do a PhD and things like that. They would want you to take a special problem, work for a semester and see how that works, and then you can continue working with them.
So if you want to impress a professor and get his funding in the 3rd semester or so, special problem is the best way. You find your professor of interest, try to try to talk to him right away and see if you can get the special problem under him in the 1st semester. My friends have who took special problem under people have got funding for fall as well as summer. And yeah, special problem is a very good way for you to experiment with both with the field and with the professor, and you can impress him and get the funding. And he might as well be, if he is impressed, he will offer you to continue with the PhD. So that is also one good way to approach.
The question asks is, which is the closest station to the computer science department? Usually the MATA stations are not close to this one. One is in Midtown and one is in Atlantic Station.
And the
So
other
I
one
think
in North Avenue, right? That is also
yeah, not that.
kind of
So
close.
from Klaus or CS department area, I guess the Midtown one will be the closest one, and you can go to the MATA station using Tech Trolley. I guess you can find about details about the bus services and the dog that has been shared by Dakshada.
There's a question on taking over 30 credit hours. You can take over 30 credit hours, but the thing is you usually pay for 12 credit hours. Like it's either 6 or 12. So if you're taking like extra credit hours, I think you'll have to pay more for it, right?
Yeah, so if you get a funding in your final semester, for example, if you're graduating in the third semester, you would have already had 24 credits with you. So you'll be having only 6 credits. But if you get a TA or an RA, you have to you get the bandwidth to register for up to 12 credits, because once you get a funding, you will have to pay only the minimum fees. On those situations, people tend to take 1 or 2 courses more. Yeah, you if as long as you meet your major requirements, you are fine to graduate. But the thing is that if you are going to take a course outside a major restrictions might be there. Again, you have to look into it. By default, you can take more than 10 courses, but you need only 10 courses for you to graduate.
Yeah, there is another.
So there's a question about weather in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So this is a very
So,
No,
interesting
just one
thing.
second, Paritosh, just 1 second. I just told that we need 10 courses to graduate. That was with respect to the EC department. I'm sorry, I forgot the fact that other departments are here as well. So please, that was only for ECE.
yeah, anything regarding
Yeah.
to courses or let's say thesis and all these options, I will recommend you to talk to your seniors in the specific department, because everything can vary from department to department thing. And these things are
Usually,
here on websites as well.
yeah, usually special problem anyone can take. It's not required if you're doing a thesis or not.
Yeah, and at least for ECE, the special problems will go into the electives part of the your requirement and not into type 1 or type 2. Just to be clear.
Coming to the weather point, so to give you a rough idea, let's say you are coming in August. So from August till November, you can say it will be till at least September or October mid, it will be kind of hot. Then kind of cold, it will not be really cold, which was recommended to us when we were coming, that it goes really, really cold. But last year it was not that cold. Means max to max a jacket will be sufficient, but yeah, it again depends on how resistant are you.
So I'd like to add some points to the weather because this directly relates to what you can get from India to
Yeah, don't forget to get
to
an umbrella. That's really, really
yeah.
important.
Please get an umbrella because Atlanta weather is very finicky. It'll start raining, whenever, and there is no set season for the monsoons. It can happen it keeps raining throughout the year. The other thing is about the cold part. So I have seen weather where the trains were shut down, city was shut down. Basically, you couldn't walk on the street. I mean, that has happened once, and it has also been the case. Like as Harshit said, this year it wasn't that cold. It just snowed a little bit for one day, but it's not unusual for Atlanta to get snow. It does get snow, and it does get cold to the extent that it's like freezing. But as far as jackets are concerned, if you have like some normal simple jacket, that will suffice for most part until October, November.
Yeah.
But if you want something that is like that can weather heavy snow, or which is rain proof, wind proof, and all that, I suggest you come here and buy it, because here you'll get like a better deal compared to buying something that is of substandard quality in India and then that not sufficing here to if it gets really, really cold. So just
There's
keep
a
that in mind.
question.
Don't keep don't put too much pressure on your luggage. I mean, just get the essential stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely buy an
There's
umbrella once you come here, but if you have space, do get it, and if you don't have, that's fine. You come here, you can get it.
I will tell you from my point of view. Last year I had 3 luggages and I brought a lot of random things. Just like you guys, I was curious to know whether it will be costly or whether it will be cheap. So I bought a lot of. I was even. I brought a lot of things. So after coming here and settling for the first, after the 2 or 3 months, when you get used to the dollars here, you feel that it is not costly or expensive as much as you would think. Your complete perspective of what is cheap and what is not will completely change in the next 3 months after you come here. So if you feel that yeah, just try to grab the important things. You don't have to worry about trivial things. There were people who brought rice and sugar as well, so you don't have to do those things. So because your perspective of what is cheap and what is not will completely change 3 or 4 months down the line. So
But
yeah.
to add
Yeah,
to
I
There,
really
there
suggest,
is
I mean, I strongly recommend not to get rice and sugar. Well, you can get a little bit, because the problem is also, the one thing is the weight of the luggage, and the other thing is the airport customs. Because sometimes I've heard, like, some of my friends, they've gotten like these things confiscated at the airport because you're not supposed to bring agricultural products into the country or something like that. So just be wary of that. You can bring a little bit, maybe, just to get over like three,
uh,
4 days or something
Paritosh,
like that.
don't even recommend actually
Yeah,
bringing
bringing
rice or
any.
Yeah,
anything.
I wouldn't recommend. I strongly don't recommend getting it.
Frankly
Uh,
speaking, you will get rice,
Everything you'll get over
sugar,
here.
salt, everything
There is a
from
very big
public
Indian
store.
store, and there's like there's an Indian store which is close to campus where most of us go to
Yeah,
shop also.
you should probably bring all the ready-made stuff. If you're especially a South Indian, you would know what I'm talking about. So bringing a
Yeah.
lot of ready-made stuff would really help you, because there'll be times when you won't be having enough time to cook proper food for you. On those cases, those ready-made stuff which you can mix with rice or which you can have with rotis will really help you. So that you can bring, because they are things that you will get for 100 rupees tends to be like $4 or $5 here. Ready-made stuff I'm talking about. So those things are advisable to bring. And there are a lot of questions about
there on a
there.
side note, you get like a lot of free food
There are a
on
lot of
campus. I hardly cook, so you can manage. You get a lot
yeah.
of free food, a lot of free t-shirts, so don't carry
Yes.
too many clothes.
Mm. Yeah, that is also. And there are a lot
There's
of questions
And
about
there's a question
transportation.
on
there's a question
converting.
I noticed about converting from a master's to
Yeah,
a PhD. So maybe Dakshita is the best person to answer.
I think that is department specific. I came in as a master's student. I'm an ECE major, and when you have to take a preliminary exam, at least for ECE and CSE, you have to take a preliminary exam, and if you pass the exam, then you are eligible to convert to a PhD. But formally taking PhD depends on whether you find an advisor or not. So if you can contact any professor, tell him that you have passed the preliminary exam and you would like to work with him, and if he agrees, then you can change to PhD. So basically, they'll the passing the preliminary exam is like the main thing.
There
A
But
lot of
that is
questions about
department specific. Let
For
me just
ECE
add
and
that.
CS, it works like this.
Yeah, it's department specific. For CSE, it's a tad bit different. For ISY, it's a tad bit different. So that we can take up during department sessions.
there
there
was a question regarding that. Is it preferable to buy a new phone or a laptop when you are coming for GTech and you are a CS student? See, phone, it depends on you. If you need to get a phone, you can get it from any other place. India or US, it will not make a difference. Laptop, again, frankly speaking, it depends on how good or bad the condition of your laptop is. It's not recommended to get a laptop new. Means I'm using my laptop, which is like 5 years old, and I am doing CS and I'm doing PhD in computer science only. So it will not be a problem. It depends on your usage. How do you think that it will work or
yeah.
not work? So
Actually, you guys can bring, if you're planning to buy a new phone or a laptop, you can bring your old ones here and try to use that till September, and where you'll get Black Friday deals. My roommates and a lot of friends that I know got very good deals for very good laptops and phones on the Black Friday. So that is also one good option you have. Just bring your whatever you have as of now. Try to use it for 2 months, 1 or 2 months, and then you can change. Then you can buy a new one during the sale. And there are also a lot of questions about transportation. Maybe we should give a small gist about the transportation. The complete details of each and every transport options you have is given in the welcome packet again. So I urge you guys to please read the welcome packet. Other than that, biking, Georgia Tech's terrain is very, it's kind of uneven. So a lot of people who do get bikes don't tend to not use it often because of the terrain. Uh, so yeah, but in general, there are few people who do use bikes. And regarding the railway station, I'm not sure what you're talking about, because Georgia
So
Tech has
I think railway station is what they're referring to as the MATA station, maybe.
MATA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, for commuting to the campus, you don't people generally don't use the MATA, because Georgia Tech has very good transportation system within campus. But if you are living pretty far from the campus, there is MATA station. There is MATA which you can
So
use.
let me
Metro and
just
MATA.
hello. Yeah. So let me just
Yeah.
give a brief overview of the MATA, because I've used the MATA for like 3 years. to commute to Georgia State, and 1 year I was commuting to Georgia Tech via the MARTA. So the MARTA, the way it works with Georgia Tech is you get a subsidized pass from Georgia Tech if you are planning to use the MARTA every day. So that comes to around, the last time I checked, I think it was around $62 a month. So you can go to the bus card office, which is in Tech Square, and purchase this pass every month. So every month you have to go and purchase this pass. They'll give you a pass which you can use for unlimited rides on MARTA trains and MARTA buses all over Metro Atlanta. So MARTA is just is the transport authority in Atlanta, and they run trains as well as the buses. So by trains, I mean the metro, as they call it in India. So so this pass is applicable on all these trains and buses. But if you're living close to campus, like let's say on if you're living in Exchange, or if you're living on M Street, or the local or something, you would not require the MARTA to commute to campus. You would only require the MARTA if you're going to somewhere else in Atlanta. So yeah, so for the greater purpose, I think if people are living close to campus, you can rely on the green route, or the red route, or the Georgia Tech trolley to commute across campus. So you would not probably require the MARTA. But if you are planning to live outside campus, like let's say you're living like 5 or 10 miles away from campus, then you would require the MARTA to commute every day.
All the details of this, it is included in the welcome package. I'll put the welcome package on the WhatsApp group also, so all of you can take a look at it. And there's a question about what is more expensive here.
I think
here
one thing that like you probably people are better off getting from India are medicines. Like some medicines, like standard medicines like Crocin, or things which are like for for like small things for which you don't need to go to the doctor, which is something like a home remedy. You can get them here, unless you
also,
that is something that I was advised very strongly when I came by seniors to please get medicines, and I've been passing along that advice because it's very helpful.
Yeah, so to add to that,
formal clothes also are pretty expensive here. You can get one from India because you'll surely need it for the career fairs.
Yeah, so to add to that, apart from medicine, if you actually like Indian stuff, which is like namkeen and all those things, it will be kind of hard to get it here. So you can get those things. If you are worried about Maggie or so, you can get it in an Indian store. So don't try to bring that thing. Yeah, for first week or so, you can get some packets, but don't try to bring a stock for a month or so.
And one more thing, people who wear glasses, right? I think I don't wear glasses, so I can't really comment on this. But if Harshit or Dakshita can talk about glasses and what is the protocol, like to get another pair of glasses, or glasses are expensive here.
I think
glasses are pretty expensive here. With your insurance, it costs like maybe $30 or something for other things to get a new glass. It's better you carry your extra pair. It'll be useful.
Since you are coming from India, it will be way cheap in India to get multiple glasses. So you can carry, let's say, 3 or 4 pairs also. So that works. Lenses, I don't know, means KKR, if you have idea about lenses.
No, actually, if you take the Georgia Tech insurance, it's pretty cheap because you can my roommate personally got a very costly frame for a very, very cheap rate. I'm not sure about the exact amount, but glasses and lenses, if you have your Georgia Tech insurance, you can get up to one, I think, for a semester. That is on a cheaper. You can get a cheaper.
It still costs $30 for that.
Yeah, $30 is like, I think Indian glasses would cost way more than that. Because, but I do recommend you guys to bring at least one spare glass, because for immediate purposes, suppose if one breaks all of a sudden and you need one more glass at least to use it for the next 3 or 4 days, you need an extra pair. So
one more thing that is very expensive here is dental. So get all your dental and
dental, by the way, is not covered under the Georgia Tech plan.
And if you're wearing your retainers, if you're wearing retainers and braces and all that, make sure you get all the whatever you need for that, because that's too expensive here.
Yeah. So
Root canal also get all that done.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you are, so I think it's recommended that you go for a dental checkup maybe even
yeah,
a full body checkup.
I will
If
recommend
it's
you guys to go through a full body checkup. That will be really helpful because once you have all the documents with you, reason some or the other reason you might need to visit a doctor here, those documents will really be at a help. So do go with a complete health checkup. That will be really helpful.
talking about safety with
Somebody is
respect to public
asking.
transport. Yeah,
Yeah,
public
somebody is
transport.
asking about safety with respect to public transport. So what my experience has been with respect to the MARTA is that it is quite safe. Uh, More often than not, it is kind of unsafe to get to the MARTA station than it is to commute in the MARTA. I mean, Georgia Tech area is more or less safe. I have commuted like maybe at 11 or 12 in the night and all that, and it's fine. And Georgia Tech also offers a Stingerette service that you can call, and he can and a van will show up. Like it's a Georgia Tech vehicle, and then they can take you anywhere on campus when it is late in the night, or you don't feel comfortable commuting. But having said that, the Stingerette will not probably take you outside campus, so that is something that you have to figure out on your own. But having said that, with respect to the MARTA station, Georgia Tech MARTA stations like Art Center, Midtown, and North Avenue are more or less safe. Take that with a pinch of salt. I have not had any incident there, but that doesn't mean that you can let your guard down. Always be careful around those stations, especially late in the night. But during the day, it's all fine. It's not a big thing.
To add to that, it's usually if you are minding your own business, you will not get into trouble. Second, try not to travel alone at night. Let's say in 1 or 2 in the night, you are like, okay, we can go in this area. So travel
Yeah.
always in the area which are lit. Try not to travel in home park area also, which is usually not lit. And talking about
And one more thing is, do not talk to people who just show up and then they say that we want, like, can we use your phone? We want to make a call and all that. Okay to
just
be
ignore.
polite. Yeah, it's okay to be polite, but use your best judgment, and you're not obligated to help anyone. So just keep that in mind.
That is
Talking
very
about the
true
stick,
because the first.
since I have used it a lot, I will say that they have a proper map which says that these are paths Stingray will be taking, and it's not necessary it will pick up from any random point. They have proper spots over the campus. They will be picking and dropping you guys, and also there is a $2 ride card which you can avail to get dropped at, let's say, Exchange or Flats. I guess at M Street also they cost you a $2 safe card, and you can use those things. You can look it up on the Stingray website. That will be really helpful. And Stingray is
Okay.
a really good. Pardon?
No, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So do look at the Stingray thing. It will be coming handy to you guys, considering you will be doing late night projects and all in the campus.
Yeah,
Somebody is
There,
asking
Paritosh told.
if is it
I
wise to
just
take
like
a
to
bus
add.
from is it wise to take a bus from the airport to campus? Don't. Just one word, don't take a bus from the airport to campus. uh, Take the MARTA. When
yeah.
you land in the international terminal, so maybe we can just go over this a little bit more details, because most people will be landing in the international terminal. So Atlanta has a very big airport, and if you're flying Qatar or Emirates or any of the or if your first port of entry into the US is Atlanta, then you will most probably be landing in the international terminal. So from the international terminal, there is an airport terminal transfer facility offered free of cost. So you can just as soon as you exit the terminal, you'll see signs for transfer to domestic. So you can just stand in the line and a bus will show up. You can use that bus and travel to the domestic terminal, which takes 20 minutes because it's a huge airport. So getting from international to domestic takes around 20 minutes. So when you reach domestic terminal, there is a MARTA station. You can go and purchase a one-way ride, and then get onto the MARTA and get down at Midtown station, and commute from there.
No,
Take an Uber or like have someone to show up.
if you
But
are coming
don't
for the
take the
first.
bus from the airport is what I want to say.
No,
If you
coming for
want to
the
take
first
public
time.
transport from the airport, take the MARTA.
Yeah, coming for the first time, I think ICGT is arranging for some of the transportations, and there is something called Beast. There are other options as well that Manoj will be covering. But if you're not lucky enough to get any of those options, if the first time you come, you can take an Uber, because Uber is pretty cheap. So you can take an
Yeah,
Uber
but
all the way
for
back
Uber,
from.
they should have an internet connection, right?
Yeah,
Over there when
Oh
they
yeah,
land.
Wi-Fi is actually
Wi-Fi
free
is
over there.
available. Yeah.
Wi-Fi is available in the airport, so you can afford.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can connect to the internet and order, but yeah, again, that is something that is on your comfort. If you can connect to the
Yeah,
internet and order an Uber, and if all your cards and everything that you've configured in India works out fine over here, because there may be some teething troubles.
yeah,
If
yeah.
all
That is
that
true.
works out, that's fine. You can take an Uber. But in the worst case that you're not able to do that, and if you have to take public transport, don't take the bus from the airport.
Yeah.
Take the MARTA, the MARTA
Yes,
train
yes.
from the airport to Midtown or Arts Center, or so if you're living in the Exchange, you can come to Arts Center, and there'll be an Arts Center shuttle from the Arts Center MARTA station to the Exchange. So it's all, and that is free.
Paritosh, it will be way much trouble for carrying 2 or 3 suitcases using this thing. So yeah, you can always considering.
Yeah, no, I came by MARTA when I landed for the first time in the US. I took the MARTA with 2, 3 bags. It's totally comfortable. It's not a problem at all. So it's fine. So if you're living in somewhere near the Exchange, you can get down at Art Center and take the Art Center shuttle from there.
I think the best thing is to take a Uber or something, and since you'll be coming with your friends, you can always share. It won't be too
Yeah,
expensive. Just don't
that is
take
a,
that risk.
you
Since you're
have
coming for
people,
the
you can
first time,
always share
take
the ride and
Uber.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, take Uber
Yeah,
and you
one thing
can
I
reach.
would like to tell here is, if you have a senior friend here, or if you have friends here, they can book a cab for you from where they are. They will have everything configured in their Uber. So worst case, you ask them to book a ride for you from where you are standing all the way till where you want to go. They can book it, and they can tell you the car number, all the car details, and once the car arrives, you can get into it. So that is a good option as well. So because given that you'll be having 2 or 3 luggages, you might find it a bit difficult for you to use the public transport right away. But if you're going to commute within America, for example, if you're going somewhere for the fall break, Marta is the best option you have. You can go, and you can use the Marta service, given that you won't be having much of the mini luggage.
Guys, considering the time frame, we will be wrapping up, and we will answer few of 1 or 2 questions which are left.
So I think there's a question on the number of credits to be taken in a semester. I think except for your last semester in a course, you have to take at least 12 credit hours per semester. So Georgia Tech requires that you take 12 credit hours to become a full-time student. So you have to take 12 credit hours every sem other than the last semester. So the only exception is the last semester of your course, where you can take a less number of credits, saying that okay, I need not do 12 credits to finish my coursework, so I can take less number of credits. So I think there is a form from each department which you have to fill it up to get that approval. But that is the only case where you can take less than 12 credit hours.
What about the
You
formal?
have you have a course reduced request form. You have to fill that, but that is only if you're graduating that semester. If you're not graduating and you want to remain on F1 visa, then you have to take 12 credits per semester.
What about the formal shoes? Are leather shoes expensive there? I will recommend that get the formal shoes from India itself, because and you won't be needing it usually until means for the career fair and all, you will be usually using it for, right?
Yeah.
So that's when.
So
Have you
One quick question.
have any of you had any theft incident? Usually, I don't think so. Anyone have actually personally faced those things. And as I told you earlier, try to mind your own business. Try not to walk in night, and try to walk in the area which are lit. So you can actually, you might read a lot about many incidents about Atlanta that this might have happened or that, but usually the campus area is safe, and if you're not actually trying to walk out in the night, things will be really safe. The
I'll
one,
just
I
I'll
think
just try to answer 3 quick questions before. Oh, okay, Manoj, go ahead.
yeah, I think the general suggestion that we will have for your safety is just be wary of your surroundings and be attentive. Just don't zombie walk or anything in the nights, especially. So
Yeah.
just make sure you understand what's happening around
So
you. Keep an eye
yeah,
on.
There's a question.
three
There's a
quick
question
questions.
on furniture.
Yeah, there is something called GT
You,
Thrift Shop in Facebook. There is a Facebook group where people will sell their old furniture, so you can check out that group. It's called GT Thrift Shop. There are also resale groups for Atlanta. In Atlanta, you can search the Facebook groups you want, and you will be finding the furniture you need. And there is also a question regarding the Indian Defense Center. There are one or two defense centers available. After you come here, you can talk to your seniors and get to know which is the best for you. There are few lunch options available. You can explore that, talk to your seniors, and get to know which is a good option for you. And there is also a question regarding career fairs that will be taken care in the department hangout session. And
I think
Just
yeah.
to add to the furniture, there is the IKEA is very close to the
Yeah.
campus, so you can always go there and get your furniture. It's not really expensive.
Yeah, we'll actually tell you guys two things about the temporary accommodation and the airport pickup that ICGT will be actually arranging. For the airport pickup, you guys will be for the airport pickup, we guys will be actually putting up a form where you can fill up the details that this is the flight and when you will be coming. And once you guys have done, people means who from here, your seniors and all, we guys will be looking into when we can actually pick you guys up, and we will be contacting you for that. So, and just to let you guys know, it's not possible for us to cover all the possible entries that will be given to us for the airport thing. We will try our best to try to accommodate as many as possible. Regarding the temporary housing, we will be putting up a sheet again for that, in which seniors will be putting up the details about their housing, that okay, from this day to this they have the availability, and you just look into the sheet and try to contact the people who have given their mode of communication, whichever they will prefer. And once the deal has been done between you guys, you can actually then uh, work out. And to let you guys know that temporary accommodation again will be very limited, so just don't rely on the temporary accommodation, because I know most of you guys will be coming way ahead from the time you will be getting your let's say any your final place where you will be staying. So do look out for Airbnbs, or if it's possible, some seniors at whom you can, yeah, senior places where you can crash, or I don't know. I guess hotels will be expensive. So just look out for all the possible scenarios. Just don't rely on ICGT temporary accommodation and pickup
There
thing.
is Airbnb very close to the campus, and Airbnb is not very expensive. So, in case you don't find any options for housing, then always check out the Airbnb website.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think we'll post the details about it and the forms to sign up in the Facebook group as well as the India Club Facebook page. So keep
As
an
well
eye
as
on
the
that.
WhatsApp group. I guess Dakshita is part of that, right, Daksh? Yeah. So she will be putting up the links on your
I'll
WhatsApp.
post. Yeah, I shall post all the required links on WhatsApp, the WhatsApp group. And if you still have any queries, you can always mail us or message us on Facebook. We don't have a India Club WhatsApp group. And there was a question about that.
Yeah, and there was a question on like about the preliminary exam. So preliminary exam we can't really answer here because that varies widely between each and every department. So whatever we say for one department will be right opposite for the other department. So we don't want to take up those questions here. So you can ask in your department Facebook hangout. And
Meghna, yeah, means it's means usually as a
Meghna, usually, yeah, we are not sure about the other teams. Usually, I know that
I
India
think there
Club
are one or two more.
provides.
I'm not sure. I think there are one or two more groups which show up
there is
at
something
the
called
airport.
yeah,
I don't
there
know.
is something called
yeah, I'm
BCM.
not sure about
BCM, yeah, that's
The
what I was
BCM
about to
is
say.
one thing that will send out emails to all the Georgia Tech people who have got admits. I'm not sure if they're doing it this year, but last year how it worked was they sent an email, particular email to all the people who got admits. And what you have to do, that was like RSVP kind of a thing where you have to, it's like a first in, first come first serve basis. So what you have to do is that once they get an email, you have to immediately click the link and enter your details, and also tell that one or two guests will be coming with me. So once once you do that, they will see the availability, and they will match a particular family and their car with you, and they will be at the time, exactly at the time where you when you arrive, and they will pick you up. Myself and most of my friends used their service, so I assume you guys will get an email shortly. If possible, if possible, if I can contact the person who dropped me, I will ask him how the situation is this year. And if I get any sort of input, I will definitely share with Dakshita, who will be sharing them to you. Or if possible, I can directly share them with you as well. So
So
yeah.
even I was picked up by the church who had sent out mails to all the Georgia Tech people. So even I'll try contacting them and post the details to you on the WhatsApp group.
One suggestion, guys, by whichever service or senior or organization you are getting picked up or you are getting stayed at some other place, as a good gesture, I will recommend if you can actually bring some things like sweet or something. It's up to you guys, but as a good gesture, I will suggest do that. Anything else we
Anything
have?
else we have?
I guess any other questions you guys have, you can feel free to post it on the group, as well as you can contact us. Our details are being shared to you guys. Again, to tell you guys, my name is Harshit. He's Manoj. We have Paritosh, Lakshita, and Krishna.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we can wrap up this general session. So as we sent you the email, we'll have the department specific Hangout session that will be starting pretty soon. So for some of the departments, the people who are not available at this time slot, they will arrange for it on a different time slot, and they will post you they will email you the link, and it will be also put up in the Google Doc I shared earlier with you.
To answer the last question, that what about the GetEx email ID? You will be getting an email from the passport service and all.
I think you have got by email by now, or at least
I don't think so. In July or so.
Yeah, probably you'll get it in by July sometime. So you'll get access to GetEx email before you come here actually.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Okay, guys. Any other questions? Please feel free to post it on any of the groups or try to reach us directly, whichever works out with you guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye. See you all in Georgia Tech Fall 2017.
Bye.
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 Bye.